course, I am Lemon7601 again. Thank you for joining me today. I know it has been a while since the last video. Just been real busy changing jobs. Actually went back to my old job, but in a new position as a salesman now, so I'm not turning wrenches anymore. So I've been busy doing that and 3D printing and all of that kind of stuff. It's been kind of crazy. I know I still have a backlog of many products I have to get to. So if you are new checking this video out, this channel is all about gaming, budget reviews of tech products and things like that. Stuff that, not all of us are going to go out and buy the, $1,000, products and things like that, like sound bars or stuff like that, or $300 keyboards. A lot of us are going to buy the more budget-oriented items. Of course, today is kind of a premium item. Now, in the world of custom keyboards, especially optical keyboards, this one's still kind of coming in a little cheaper. Now, when I bought this keyboard, you could get it for about $75. It has gone back up in price, closer to the original price it came out, which was like around $120. But if you are interested in this keyboard, I would recommend keeping your eye out. EVGA does sales all the time. So today we're going to go ahead and review the EVGA Z20 optical gaming keyboard. What do I mean by optical? Optical means an optical switch where there's actually the switch, when it comes down, it actually stops a laser. And that's what actually trips a switch. Unlike a mechanical switch, actually makes a connection. This one uses optical. So these type of keyboards are extremely fast. But there's not really any, last I checked, I don't think there was any optical wireless out there. Most of them are all wired. There probably is one that I'm completely forgetting, but for this, most of them are out there right now. They're all wired. So this, of course, is a wired keyboard. So, of course, here's the box. Let's go over what's on the box. It has a 4,000 hertz polling rate, which is pretty significant. Most keyboards and mice out there only pull at 1,000 hertz. So this one is 4,000. So it definitely has a lot of, there should be really no excuse why your hits don't register. Optical switches, which we already went over, 0.5 millisecond response time, and a 100 million keystroke life. That's the greatest thing about these switches over, say, a mechanical keyboard, is these ones do last an extremely long time. It has the EVGA time of flight sensing system, which we'll go over, of course. And that's about it. Comes with the quick guide, key puller, spare keycaps, which I'll show you what those are all about, and magnetic palm wrist rest. And I will be doing comparison today with this with the Z15, which we did a review on about a month ago or so. So we will actually compare these two, see what's what. So, well, I'm going to save time, and I already got it in the box, so it's right here. Getting with the box. Now, the packaging for the box, it's very similar to the Z15. Really nice packaging. It was honestly just a pain trying to put this all back in there, so I already unboxed it. So we're going to skip that today. And, of course, we're going to go dive right into what the keyboard is. I will bring you guys in close, and we'll show you off all of its little features and things like that. And, of course, we'll go over software today, too, to show you what the software is. Now, if you've seen the Z15 or the Z12 review video, the software is similar. There's a couple things that are a little bit different, but it's pretty similar. So what comes in the box is, of course, the keyboard. Now, all the review videos I watched before I bought this, and of course this is the clicky one. You can get this in a silent or a linear style. Now, most review videos I saw, nobody really mentioned this cable. This is a chunky boy, as we like to call it, the thick boy. This is, but you can see why. I mean, but this thing is massive. It's not detachable. It comes down to 2 USB-A ports and a combination jack. So what you can do with this is there is actually a USB hub on the keyboard, and also there is a headphone jack, combination jack on there. So if you are running a wired headset, you can plug your headset into the keyboard instead of having it actually run to the computer. So for some people, that's a pretty good feature, but I won't lie, this cable, like, I bought this keyboard months ago, and this thing still will not straighten out. It's just it's a very thick cable. So what I'll do right now is I will plug this guy in. My handy dandy little... And my computer just recognized it. Of course, what also does come with it is a magnetic wrist rest. Now, the nice thing about this magnetic wrist rest, it is actually padded, and it has like a faux leather material on it. I really, really like this wrist rest. The Z15 came with a wrist rest, but it wasn't as nice as this one was. That one was a hard plastic. This actually has like a foam, memory foam feel to it, which just snaps right into the bottom of the keyboard. And as you can see, it's held on pretty well by magnets. So, and here is all, of course, all the beautiful, I'm just making sure I didn't actually stop recording the video, all the RGB goodness of the keyboard. It has, of course, lights on the side here, unlike the Z15. Now, there's a lot of similarities with the whole Z series, where this one, like the Z12, had the macro keys here on the side, but the Z15 did not. This one's got a light bar on the side where the Z15 or the Z12 does not have. But this also has the volume wheel that the Z15 has, but the Z12 does not have. So there's definitely similarities in all three of the keyboards. This one, which of course they consider their flagship, has all the features. And of course, right here on the front is this sensor. This sensor does is actually, when you're coming to sit down, it's actually reading. It's a distance sensor. So when you walk away from this keyboard, actually, I got my finger in front of it right now because if I drop it down for too long, it'll actually go into basically it goes to sleep, and it'll shut all the RGB off. And then when you're approaching, and you can actually set that in software how far away you want to start activating, or if you want to not do it at all, it'll actually turn the keyboard back on. For this one, it actually goes it's like starts white and it goes all the way to the top until it fully turns on. And once it sees me approaching, it's kind of cool. It's an interesting feature. Is it necessary? Yeah, I don't think it to be necessary, but it's interesting. So I'm going to bring you guys up close, and I will show you all of its features. And then we'll go into software, talk about the software, show you all the things it does there, and then we'll wrap this video up, and then we will talk about actually there it went. Actually, just shut off right there. See? But when something gets close to it, it'll turn back on. So that is the time of flight feature. Yes, it could save power. How many people are going to really use it or need it? It's hard to say. But it's kind of nice if you do have a setup where you're not at the computer all the time and you don't need your computer just shining, or your keyboard just shining away. This actually just will shut it down. It's pretty nice. But like I said, we'll talk about that more in the feature, in the actual video. And of course, I will grab the Z15 when we do the close-up so you guys can see a comparison between the two. We're doing the close-up. Stick with us. I went ahead and unplugged the actual USB just in case by hitting the buttons, I don't accidentally mess up my computer. So yeah, just go ahead and unplug it. You guys saw the RGB in the distance one. And also I have some B-roll of the RGB. So this is the pad I was telling you guys about. It does have like a foam underneath. It's not really memory foam, but more like a foam with like a faux leather over it. And of course, it does have the typical EVGA markings on the bottom and the rubber feet on both front and back. So this shouldn't slide around a lot on your table. So we'll go ahead and set this guy aside. And of course, here it is. So of course, we have this brushed aluminum plate. Actually, it is brushed aluminum plate. This is a very strong keyboard, very little flex. Over here, you got your multimedia keys. Here's volume wheel, which is actually really responsive. Unlike some other wheels I've used in my time, this one's actually got a really good response rate to it. Sorry, she's a little dusty down here, apparently. Anyways, multimedia keys. Really nice click to them. Now, of course, you guys know me. You've seen most of my reviews when it comes to keyboard. I love clicky switches, so this is the clicky switch version. There is another version of this keyboard that is not clicky switch. So if you're not into the clicky switch, then there is an option for you. Of course, I will have close-ups of these too, but the These are PTFE. Looks like they are not double shot. They are painted. Double shot, usually you can tell they double shot because you'll see two separate. You actually see a divided line. This one doesn't have it. So these are more or less painted. And of course, there's your switch. It is a box style with a north-facing LED. Again, I will have close-ups of these while we're talking about this, so you guys know what I'm talking about. So, and over here on the side, we have an EVGA button. What this actually does is mainly it just shuts down. It activates profiles, but it also shuts down your Windows key, so you don't accidentally bump that while playing. So it's a really nice clicky switch. Of course, you got your macros. Now, all the switches are pretty much the same. These are, I don't believe these are optical. I believe these are mechanical by the way they feel, but the rest of these are optical. So EVGA logo right here on top. Now there is RGB control for the keyboard right here. If you don't want to do it during software, you have the options right here. Just by holding the function key, you can adjust which RGB mode and the brightness. So there is some options you can do with that. I mean, other than that, let's go ahead and flip it over. As you can see, it does have the 2-stage feet, so one all the way up, and then there's a halfway one right there. So there's options. Does have weep holes right here, like the 15 and I believe in the 20 had all weep holes. So in case you get a spill or something, it does have a place to drain out and a chance to save your board. Again, the rubber mounts in each corner, EVGA stuff right here, and of course, like I said, the material, and this big old chunky cable, which we'll go ahead and take a look at the top real quick. Right here by the volume wheel, you can see there's a USB port, so you could plug in a mouse, whatever you want in that spot. And on the one side, here it is. The one side, as you can see here, this is a 3.5 millimeter jack. This is a combination jack, so if you have a headset that uses, or if you have a splitter, you can plug it into this so you don't have to actually run to your computer. You can just do it right on the keyboard, which is kind of nice if you do have that set up. So right now, I'll do a quick typing test so you guys know what this sounds like. Okay, so that's a typing test real quick, so you guys know what it sounds like. This one doesn't have a hollow sound to it. Probably the only one that has any kind of like sound that's not the greatest is probably the space bar. Actually, it sounds a lot like, actually I got it right over here, the Z15. This one actually sounds worse than that one. This one sounds better, but it should. This is the more expensive keyboard. So I'm going to pull these two up real quick so you guys get a good look at them and see the similarities and difference. Of course, the big difference is, of course, the cord, but this doesn't have a USB hub or the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack built into it. Same multimedia keys right here, just as like this, but it is shorter because it doesn't use the macros. So, and also on the EVGA, you have the RGB on each side. This one does not, but the top plate is the same, so it's the same brushed aluminum feel. So that's kind of a quick comparison. And also, if you did want to know, like I said, this does attach, but because this is made for this, it does stick out the sides, but it does actually magnetically attach to the bottom of the Z15. That side. Now, one thing I will definitely say about these switches, which I absolutely do love, it's when you are playing a game or just anything on this keyboard, and you actually, as soon as you actually hear that click, it actuates. Like I've had with mechanical keyboards where you can get false actuation without a click if you got a clicky keyboard. These, they only actuate when you hear that click, which is super, super nice. So you don't have to worry about accidentally moving when you don't want to move just because you were pressing too hard unless you actually hear it click. So, well, let's go ahead and go into the software. So and this then we'll wrap this the EVGA Unleashed RGB software. This is going to be where you have all your profiles and you can select your different RGB settings and all that stuff. See, there's different profiles along the side. Now, the first collection here is the TOF, which is time of flight sensor, which is that sensor that I showed you guys right here on the bottom. You can choose if it's on or it's off, how long, wake up, unlock, because you can actually have this set. So as soon as you walk away from your PC, it locks and it will unlock when you come up to it. So now it doesn't actually see who you are. So technically, if somebody walked up and wasn't you, it would actually unlock. Or you can at least set it to like automatically lock when you walk away, and then you have to actually like put in a password to unlock it. Then you can do mode by road, fade in, fade out, explosion. So there's different like things you can like animations you can have when you're walking up to the keyboard. And you can of course select your colors and brightness. Leaving, this is where you can set your time basically, and this is where you can select to do nothing if you leave, set the computer to sleep, lock the computer, or just go dark. That means it just shuts the keyboard off. Doesn't actually affect your computer. And of course, you can adjust the distance, how far away you want it to actuate, and things like that. So that is the TOF sensor. General settings. So configure keys, your left on that. Here's your polling rate. It does default out of the box at 1,000 hertz. So you have to go into the software and go to, there's 2,000 and then there's 4,000. Now, when you click 4,000, it says increasing the polarity above 1,000 hertz may lead to compatibility issues. Now, personally, I haven't experienced a game that had this issue at all, so I don't know which games may or may not support it, but I haven't had any issues. I play things like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Overwatch, stuff like that. So do be aware of that. Game mode, you can decide when you're in game mode, that's that little switch right here, what it does or how you enter it. And of course, then you got your character repeats, all that stuff, test area. Now we go over to lighting effect. So, of course, you have many different lighting effects. And as you can see here, you can even control the TOF. That's the, remember that type of light sensor. You can also do custom. You can custom make whatever set you want. But for presets, honestly, the amount that you get from just presets is kind of on the low side, in my opinion. Because I've done keyboards that have cost a lot less, and there's a little bit more customization options. Not customization, we'll say preset options. But the nice thing is you can completely do it. You can adjust the counterclockwise, you can adjust it to whatever you want. Brightness, speed, start with the profile, never stop, that kind of stuff. Key assignment, you can redo, you can actually set certain keys to do whatever you want. Like that, really interesting. Basically hotkeys. Then you got macro editor. Again, if you've ever watched any of my previous videos, I don't really mess with the macros. So this part of the review video and all this, I don't mess with these. If you want to know how to do these, I imagine there's other videos out there that know how to do these. But personally, myself, I just don't mess with them. So, well, we'll go ahead and back out of this, and we will go to the conclusion, and then we'll wrap this video up. We're all back from all the software and the unboxing, up close, all that stuff. Now we're going to go ahead and go over, basically, is this worth the money? Okay, so that's going to be a two-part response to that. First is, if the price goes back down to what I paid for this, like I said, around $75, yes, it's absolutely worth it, 100%. Because you're not going to get an optical, mostly you're not going to get an optical keyboard in that price point that has this feature set. Almost never. I mean, it's not going to happen. But the way this is set up and all the features you get, if you can get it for $75, jump on it. It's an amazing keyboard for that. For the $130, normally it's nice, but I kind of have a thing on it. And honestly, my biggest downfall to this thing is it's this cord. This cord is just so heavy. And it's hard to maneuver around my setup. It's just a chunky boy. If they would have went with something smaller, maybe a detachable Type-C, or something like that. Because don't tell me you guys couldn't, because I have the $70. This is the Royal Clutch keyboard. I did a review on this one a while ago, which has right here on the front two USB ports for a hub, and it does have a Type C port that you plug into, so you can use this wired. Now, if you want to use the hub, you actually have to have this wired. But the fact that they can do it with the detachable Type C cord means EVGA, you could probably do the same thing. I mean, yeah, the whole plug-in for the audio thing, but I bet you guys could figure it out. So this is really the only con for me for this entire keyboard. It's this cord, because I won't lie, I fought with it a lot, and actually, the hub I had originally set on this monitor, because the KVM switch, this monitor that I've used many, many times, it didn't like it, and it would actually lose connection. So I had to go with a completely different hub just to get this thing to work. So, like I said, the biggest downfall for me for this entire keyboard is this cable. EVGA, if you're watching, I doubt it because I'm a small YouTuber, but hey, if you are watching, please, come up with something. At least for the next one, change this up a little bit, because this is... But honestly, this is their first set of premium keyboards that they had. So there's going to be growing pains. I understand that. But I do like EVGA as a company. I do like their graphics cards, their power supplies. I've tried a couple of their mice. Really good. Of course, I've tried all the other keyboards that they offer, the Z12 and the Z15, and now the Z20. All in all, they're really good quality keyboards. So with the price separation that they have, they kind of come in right with any budget that you're looking for. They all offer similar things between them all, but they also are definitely separated with their feature set. Of course, here's the old Z15, which I showed you guys during the close-up. Looking at it, you can see very similar design. The multimedia keys are the same. They didn't change really any of that. The only thing that's missing is, of course, the light bars on the side and the macro switches. So if you didn't like the layout of that one, consider this one a try. Now, if I had to choose between the two keyboards, between the Z15 and the Z20, which would I choose? Probably, I won't lie, I may actually go with the Z15. And the reason I go with the Z15 is really, it's the cord. This cord, like I said, this cord is so much easier. Yes, it's not detachable, but this one I can easily route around my system. Also, the ability to hot swap to switches I like. So I know these have 100 million lifespan, and good luck actually using it to the point where you'd actually have a failure. But if you have a failure on any of these switches for whatever reason, this keyboard, unless you're really good at soldering and doing all that stuff, there's really not much you can do. Where on this one, if you get a switch that goes bad, you just pull it out and swap it. Put a new one in. And this one has 4,000 hertz polling rate, just like this guy. So they both have a really high polling rate. They're really the only difference between this keyboard and this one, other than the macros and the extra RGB and the comfy plate, which actually EVGA sells this now by itself. So you can get this for all three, actually the other two keyboards. It's on their site. Check it out if you're interested, if you want to wrist rest for any of the other keyboards. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So yeah, really, it's the switches. It's down to the switches. And the switches that come in the Z15, I absolutely love. They're one of my favorites, the bronze speed switches. I absolutely love them. And I really do like these switches too. They are great. But in the end, I would save the money, go for the Z15. It's just as good as a keyboard as this guy. Yeah, there's a couple little things like the flight sensor and, like I said, the macros, but I'm not a guy that uses macros, so to me, I don't use these at all anyways. I personally would go for the Z15. But if you're in the budget and you really want to, if you really, really, truly want an optical keyboard and you do not want to break the bank compared to people like Asus, I think Razer has one too now, which are really expensive, then EVGA is the way you want to go then. Because Yeah, even though it may be 130 bucks MSRP, you're getting a lot of keyboard for that price. I mean, you're getting an aluminum build, customizable RGB, single kit lit RGB, macros, optical switches that are the fastest in the industry, and also probably the most precise in the industry. Um, like I said, if you want an optical keyboard for that's not going to completely break the bank, then you're going to want to give this guy a try. But if you had a choice between the two, not really if you have a choice, because truth be told, all my review videos are all you still have to make the choice if you want to buy this or not, because they're not paying me to do this. I do this all for free. I do this for the fun of it. I enjoy doing it. But in the end, if I had to choose between these two, I would choose the Z15 over the Z20 just because of the things that I find annoying that I don't think should be on a $120 keyboard. But if you do find this guy on sale or this guy on sale, you're not going to go wrong buying either one. They're both great keyboards. It's just like I said, my personal preference is a Z15. So, well, I hope everything I showed you today will help you make an informed decision on which keyboard you're interested in buying. Again, like I said, I'm not sponsored in any way by any of these companies. I buy all my products. I've only had a couple ever sent to me the entire time, but I've still had to buy. I still had to pay for something for it. All the products I've ever reviewed. So that's what I do. I pay out of my own pocket, so I give you an honest, straight up review. Is this product good? Is this product crap? I will tell you how it is every time. So if you like these kinds of videos and budget reviews and gameplays, because I do have a couple good gameplay videos coming out and live streams, check out the channel. Consider subscribing if you're new here. Please leave a like if you can. It always helps out the channel. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. When we do 1,000 subscribers, we're doing a headset giveaway. And of course, we do have our Patreon starting up very soon, where we're actually going to be doing giveaways of keyboards. And yes, this Z20 will be one of the giveaways on our Patreon when that starts up. I will be giving this away, in box and everything. That will be one of the things. The only thing I'm really going to keep are things I use all the time, like the Royal Clutch. That one's going to be a keeper. That's my personal. That's my runner every day. But other keyboards that I have, mice, other things I reviewed on this channel, they'll be doing giveaways on our Patreon page. So if you're interested in doing that, stay tuned for when we start up our Patreon, because we will be doing monthly giveaways on the channel. I'd like to say monthly if I can do it, but if it's like every other month, it'll probably end up being that way. But still, they're going to be great giveaways. So because it's kind of saying thank you for helping out the channel. And of course, like I said, once we hit that 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing our big headset giveaway. So do check that out. We are getting closer every day. Everybody that subscribed to the channel, I thank you. I do appreciate every person on this. And I do appreciate every other member of Wonder Dads, Carhartt 317, John, and Verdun 66. You guys are great. I'm glad that you guys are part of my channel. Of course, we've had guest people on our live stream. I appreciate all of them too. I do love doing this, guys. So please help out the channel, get us to 1,000, and we'll just keep having more fun and just keep growing as a channel. And also, I will start adding 3D printer stuff to the channel soon because I've been really getting into that lately. So I'll be doing like filament reviews, mod reviews, things like that on budget level printers. So do check that out if you're interested. Well, I'll catch you guys on the next gameplay, next review video, or next live stream. As always, I am Lemon76 of Wonder Gaming. Thank you for joining me today. I hope to catch you again soon. And as always,